Hey everybody, Izzy Pixel reporting. In honor of this being Zelda Month, I want to honor it by doing a Zelda video. For this video, I want to talk about Tingle! Just kidding. Who would want to talk about him? I mean, come on. I'm actually going to discuss the bad guys. I don't know about you, but I do enjoy the villains a lot. In fact, there are so many movies and games where I like the villain better than the hero. In the case of Zelda, there are lots of pretty neat villains in this game, other than the great nemesis, Ganondorf. He is actually my favorite villain of all time, and I could go on and on about how awesome he is. However, for the sake of the other amazing villains in this series, I pulled him out of this category. I have made a list of 5 villains according to the following. 1. How they battle you. It's very important to have a villain that you can fight well. 2. How they react under pressure, because it's either disturbing or humorous to watch. And 3. What their goal is in life. Basically, what do they want to do with the world? Also beware that there might be some spoilers in this video because I would hate to ruin your fun if it will be your first time playing any Zelda games. If that's the case, you shouldn't probably watch this. As for the rest of you, let's begin. Number 5. Zant from Twilight Princess is weird. He starts off as this creepy villain who overthrew the Twilight Princess and usurped him as the King of Twilight. However, as the game goes on, you find out that he is nothing more than a hater and a crybaby. I mean, he throws temper tantrums when he doesn't get his way. It's kind of funny though, it's like watching a toddler throwing a fit when he doesn't get a cookie or something. The only reason he has any sort of power at all is because of Ganondorf. You find out that Zant was nothing more than a puppet so that the King of Evil can return to the land of Hyrule to take it for himself, and then also combine the Twilight Realm with it to make it a world of darkness. The fight scene with Zant in the Palace of Twilight is really fun. Zant enacts some of the bosses you've encountered before in familiar settings, and you use similar weapons you used with the other bosses to stop him. Then when you get to the final stage, you have the view of Hyrule Castletown in the background and a twirly force field keeping you inside. Hint hint, that's foreshadowing where you'll go to battle Ganondorf later. Foresight is pretty cool. In this fight, Zant has 2 swords and carelessly swings them at you. It's almost hard to take him seriously with anything. Again, the whole toddler attitude makes me think of him less of a villain and more of a nuisance. Number 4. Yuga from Link Between Worlds. Many of you are probably wondering why I picked this villain, but you'll understand as I explain it. When you first battle him, he disappears into the walls and jumps back out to attack you with his magic staff. In the second fight, Yuga splits into 3 and you'll have to find the staff that glows with magic to find the right one. When he merges into Ganon, it's a little different. He has a trident this time and does similar attacks to a familiar battle in A Link to a Past. To a past? Be past? Whatever past. In the final stage, Yuga Ganon has taken the Triforce of Wisdom and has become more powerful. He blasts a ball of magic at you, and you have to hit it precisely like how you play baseball in Ganondorf's battle in Ocarina of Time. The only difference is that after he gets hit, he merges into the walls to avoid being attacked. At that point, you use Link to merge into the walls and use the Bow of Light to knock Yuga Ganon out. Then, using the Master Sword, you defeat him. Pretty interesting battle. However, I mainly picked him because of his strange personality. Because Ganondorf is a masculine character and Lorule is supposed to be the opposite of Hyrule, it would make sense for Yuga to have a hint of a feminine personality, like the makeup, the body build, and the voice. It just makes sense. Strange, but intriguing. He also has a thing for art and beauty. While he's encountering the sages and Princess Zelda, he compliments them on how they deserve to be in picture frames hanging on a wall. However, if he runs into anyone else, he just looks at him in disgrace. For all his spit and polish, he made for but a crude doodle on the wall, a waste of my magic. What a sad, drab painting you make. You can rot there for all I care. How impudent! Emerging, foisting your inferior form upon my eyes! I will not tolerate this! Join with me! Let us destroy all ugliness in this world or any other! We shall truly be superior! As if Ganon cares about beauty! All he cares about is world domination and destruction. If anything, he would let Lorule rot, then rebuild it into a world of chaos, not beauty. But since he merged with Yuga, maybe there will be some beauty in the world. Unless he's talking about his face. Number 3. Majora from self-named game Majora's Mask. In the beginning, you think that Skull Kid was using the mask's power to bring the moon down on Termina to destroy it, and all that lived there. However, as you get to the end, you find out that Majora himself was the one in control. It's almost like Ganondorf with the whole puppet gig. I picked him mostly because of the final battle with him. Inside the moon, Majora takes on the form of a child and asks you to play with him. If you traded all your masks out to all the 4 children, he'll ask you to play good guy versus bad guy. He tells you that you get to play the bad guy and all you have to do is run. That's pretty creepy. You start the fight off battling just a mask with tentacles hanging from the bottom. He twirls, spins, and floats around and commands the other 4 boss masks to attack him as well. Then the mask transforms into Majora's incarnation, consisting of a body with long legs, long arms, and an eyeball for a head. He runs around sounding like a child, causing trouble. His speed increases and you have to catch him before he gets you. The third form is Majora's Wrath. It's similar to the last form, but the muscles grow bigger, his hands are replaced with long whips, and the eyeball head transforms into an ugly face with a huge mouth. He attacks you with his ballerina moves and slaps you with his tentacles to cause damage. I was actually disturbed by this last image and had to shake it from getting nightmares about it. But the 3 stages are easily defeated by having my personal favorite mask, the Fierce Deity. The sword you use spits out magic no matter how many hearts you have, and in a way is even more powerful than the Master Sword itself. As long as you have a lot of magic in your magic meter, you have nothing to worry about. You only obtain the Fierce Deity mask if you have traded all of your other masks to the 4 boss children while doing their levels. When Majora sees you have no more masks, he gives you his weakness. So childish. Number 2. Vati in Minish Cap is the one villain that has a really interesting character development. He used to be a Minish apprentice to the wise Islo, who was a craftsman and a sage himself. Vati was actually a good guy. According to Islo, Vati became enchanted by the wickedness in the hearts of men. Because of this, Vati steals Islo's latest creation, the Magic Cap, and transforms himself into a powerful sorcerer. Then, after cursing his former master into a cap himself, he goes to the Picori Festival, enters, and wins the tournament so he could get to the Picori Blade Chest, hoping to find the life force inside. Instead, he just frees a bunch of monsters. Great. Toward the end of the game, Vati finds out that Princess Zelda held the life force. He takes her to the top of Hyrule Castle and begins to drain that power from her. Even though our hero makes it before the evil Minish takes all of her power, Vati still had enough of it to transform himself into a monster. Like the battle with Majora, Vati has 3 forms. The first one is Vati Reborn. He looks like an adult wizard with a huge eyeball for a torso. He shoots beams and attacks you with eyeballs?
That's disturbing.
The second form is Vati Transfigured. He turns into a giant eyeball with tons of little eyeballs surrounding him. They shoot electric balls and prickly stuff at you, and Vati can cause rocks to fall on your head. The final form is Vati's Wrath. He's a larger eyeball and has arms that will attack you. He also can make the 4 smaller eyeballs shoot beams at you all at once. So many eyeballs. Through all of this, Vati was actually a pretty clever villain. It's definitely different from the first 3 villains that I have mentioned, who have a very skewed view on how the world should be run and why. Number 1. Girahim from Skyward Sword. This villain by far is my favorite, and here are a few reasons why. One is that Girahim, unlike most of the villains that you encounter, is actually quite civil in a villainous way. He treats Link as a worthy sword fighter to toy with. He's also honest about his character. He admits to Link that sometimes he gets carried away when plans don't go his way, calling it a flaw of his. Reason number 2 is that he's a very expressive character. He describes his moods in ways that only would make sense to him. Do you have any idea how it makes me feel inside? Furious, outraged, sick with anger. I admit I got a little sulky. It was frowns all around. The prospect of a second gate of time has made me positively giddy. This news has just filled my heart with rainbows. Rainbows? Really? Okay. Reason number 3 is Girahim's a very vain character. He always compliments on his physique and how beautiful he is. Not that anyone else doesn't. You think you could challenge me? Why, I am the portrait of perfection. Girahim, however, goes a little over the top with it. Reason number 4 is his loyalty to his master. Normally, villains want something for themselves when they serve the greater evil, but Girahim was different. When you first meet him, he was after Zelda so he could use her to resurrect Demise back to full glory. He didn't care about anything else. As he said to Link, it's just the girl that matters now. Throughout the whole game, his one purpose was to kidnap Zelda and sacrifice her to the Demon King. In the end, he finally got his wish and is reunited with Demise, still rendering him as master. And last reason is that he is the demon spirit of Demise's sword. He's freaking immortal, people! If it weren't for the fact that he was so loyal to his master, he could rule the surface himself with no one to oppose him. It's probably why he prefers to be called Lord Girahim. He wanted to sound cool. And that is my personal favorite villains list. Some of you have your opinions and are entitled to them. In all reality though, if any of those guys did show up at my door, that would not be cool. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, favorite it please, and share with your friends. Want to see more awesome videos? Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date. This is Izzy Pixel signing out. See you later!